Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the feature race at Charlestown on Saturday evening. Graded stakes action. It's race number 10. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 3 Charlestown Oaks. This is a two-turn, 7-furlong event. $300,000 is the purse. It appears that the 5 newly minted is going to withdraw from this race and wait for a New York bred option down the road. If she ran in this race, she would be very, very tough for Linda Rice, Mike. She's done everything Linda's asked of her.
Yeah, I actually would have liked her if they decided to run her here, but it sounds like they're not going to. So I moved on to Plan B.
And Plan B might include the Timeform pace projector. We'll throw up the pace projector of this race. And the 4 Lovesick is very, very fast out of the gate. I would expect her to try to make the running as she, like several of these horses, go 2 turns for the first time directly to her inside Parisian Diva. That one has to go as well. And the 6 Lady TNT, she's going to run in this race, it appears. She's likely to be on the pace. I think there's going to be some cooking up front.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if this pace is legitimate for sure. Certainly, I expect the 3 and the 4 to come out of there running.
The one La Chancla is a very regarded daughter of Uncle Mo. Sold for $775,000 last year. Did not start as a 2-year-old, but has now won 2 in a row. And I think this is a nice spot to try stakes horses for the first time, as well as 2 turns. Let's go back to her most recent race, entry-level allowance at Saratoga. You see her on the far outside now make the lead. She's going to start wandering to the center of the track under left-handed urging, but once she straightens herself out, she eventually wears these horses down. A bit workmanlike, but she's lightly raced, and I think she's all upside.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I thought she was fine in this race. I thought she was fine when she won 2 starts back, breaking her maiden at Belmont. Just, the kind of horse I feel like the more you see of her, the better she's probably going to get. She has to improve to beat this field. Maybe she'll do it.
It appears that Irish Mischief, the number 2, well, they found the key to her success, and that was blinkers, because they put the blinks 2 starts back. She's now responded with 289 Beyer speed figures and this victory at Ellis Park. Now, she was the 1-2 favorite that day. She had a very nice trip prompting on the outside, but she takes over this lead, and this is how you're supposed to win when you're odds on. Brad Cox always dangerous. Looks like he's going to try to stretch this one out again. I'm not worried about the extra distance at all.
Yeah, I don't think I am either. This is an impressive win. She's paired up 89 Beyers now. Either one of her last 2 starts just seem like they make her a legitimate contender in this race, and she's got enough speed to be forward. There's a lot to like about this horse.
Home court advantage goes to the 3 Parisian Diva, a West Virginia bred daughter of Freedom Child, never off the board from 11 lifetime starts, 7 of those races wins. Big win over course and distance last time out against fellow state breds. Going to be stepping up in class. You'll know her early. I just think that right next door, Lovesick's got to press her hard.
Yeah, I think so. Lovesick seems like she'll come out of there running. This horse, she was impressive last time, but she was also loose on a relatively soft pace. She's not going to get that trip this time. I respect that she has home field advantage in here, but I feel like she's facing some pretty tough horses in this race.
Speaking of Lovesick, she is a multiple stakes winner in her own right down in South Florida sprinting. They tried the Azalea last time out. She showed some speed on a wet track. I don't really think a wet track is what she wants. She's actually undefeated on fast going. But here she's got to go 2 turns, drawing outside of another speed against tougher horses. I'll take a wait-and-see approach.
I'm a little worried about her stretching out around 2 turns. We'll see how that all plays out. I like the fact that she has speed because I think in these races especially, you want to be forward. You want to be involved in this race before you hit the far turn. She should be that anyway. And to me, she just ran, way better than it looks last time with a 67 Beyer. That was a wicked fast pace that she was on, and she was under pressure every step of the way in there. She actually stayed on really gamely at the end of there. So I think she ran a lot better than it looks last time, Dan.
Like you, if newly minted were to run here, she would be my top selection. It appears though she is going to scratch to await rich state-bred stakes in New York. So we'll move on to the 6 Lady TNT, who returned off a layoff last time at Ellis Park. Was able to get to an easy early lead after the first quarter mile, then took some pressure, and then was second best. I thought as a comeback race, it was okay. She's going to have to do a lot better, and I'm just not sure about 2 turns for her.
Yeah, I'm worried about distance for her, too. I actually like her sprint races. I think she's actually a good sprinter, and I know this is 7 furlongs, but a 2-turn 7 furlongs feels like it might push her a little bit.
It looked like Fashion Faux Pas was going the right way 3 starts back when she exploded to a 97 Beyer speed figure around 2 turns in the lighthearted stakes. And then she finished second to Jaywalk, who ran her good race in the Delaware Oaks 2 starts back. She had a problem last time out. She either got clipped from behind or took a bad step. You probably just want to draw a line through that race. Obviously, if she runs that 97 Beyer, she's going to win this race. I am a skeptic.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see her run another race like that. We'll see what happens. She's a contender in this race, but not one that I was, enamored with.
Taylor Spirit has winning experience at Delta Downs, and that course similar to Charlestown in that they run 2-turn sprints there. This one was the winner of the My Trusty Cat, going a 2-turn 7 furlongs at Delta Downs as a 2-year-old. And while she's done some good work sprinting and routing in Iowa this summer, I just don't really see her getting much better than when she was a 2-year-old. I think she still has to improve, although she has a very likable record.
Yeah, she does. I agree with you. I feel like she probably has to improve, but she's been in some pretty tough races along the way. And I feel like shorter's better for her, too. She's one of those interesting horses at a price in this race, I think.
I think the 9 South of France is very interesting in here for Todd Pletcher. Looks like he's found a very good spot for this filly, who Todd actually dropped in for 50 at Keeneland, was willing to lose her as a 2-year-old. That began a 3-race win streak. And then, unfortunately, she went to the sidelines for about 9 months. This was a decent effort off the layoff facing older horses. South of France turns into the stretch and is facing a legitimate stakes horse in Talk Veuve to Me. And off this layoff, we see South of France run pretty well, the number 4, to get up for second in the late stages. I think it was a good building block race. I'm not worried about the distance. And if this pace is hot, she could come running late.
Yeah, I guess she could. I'm not a huge fan of this horse. I thought she ran fine in this race, considering it was off a lay. You can see in the replay, she's never a real factor in the race, never a threat. She just picked up second at the end, behind Talk Veuve to Me, who's not as good as she was, who's not as good this year as she was last year. I don't know, Dan. If she was some kind of big price, I wouldn't argue, but it feels like it's Pletcher. She'll take a little money. I don't see why this horse has to be a short price in this race.
Scat, Rattle, and Roll exploded to a 7.5-length victory 3 starts back, then was no match for graded rivals in the Iowa Oaks 2 starts back, and she got back to her good form last time out when dropped in class. Let's watch Scat, Rattle, and Roll's race. She's going to come from far, far back in here to finish second, and this is a pretty nice late run. I'm not sure about the field she's beating. This is not a great post position going 2 turns at Charlestown, but you give this horse some pace, she occasionally comes with a kick. She just has to run faster, and there are some class questions.
Yeah, there are. We'll see what happens. And in this replay that we're watching, you're going to see her make it really close at the end. But I mean, she has every chance in this race to get up. I mean, this was a long stretch drive. I feel like everybody had a shot at it. She doesn't get there. I think she has to run better than that.
It is a competitive edition of the Grade 3 Charlestown Oaks, to be sure. If Newly Minted were to run, we would pick her. It appears she's not going to run. We have alternate selections to show you. I liked what I've seen from La Chancla. I think she's all upside. I still think she's learning the game. And from this inside post, Jose Ortiz, I think, is just going to tuck in behind the speeds and hope something opens up for him. I went 1-2.
Yeah, I threw both of those horses in there, actually, my second and third picks, but I went with Lovesick on top. I like her speed. Like I said, I think she ran better than it looks last time. She ran a lot better than it looks 2 back as well when she blew the start and won anyway. I just think she's a little better than she looks on paper, and she'll be a price.
And you make a very good point. You want to be close when you hit the turn at Charlestown. The second turn, Lovesick's going to be right up close to the early lead, and they might have to catch her in the stretch. So Mike's going with Lovesick, 10-1 on the morning line. I'll take La Chancla, 5-1 on the morning line, 1-2 for me. Mike's going 4-1-2. Grade 3 Charlestown Oaks, the feature at Charlestown on Saturday. Approximate post time, 10:15 Eastern. Good luck.